And welcome back, everybody. This is an impromptu, but I wanted you guys to be a fly on the wall on my live podcast recording. So you're going to give me a couple minutes here, and then we're going to get right into it. So in today's topic, if you haven't seen it already, it's pretty interesting, right? We in that Valentine's Day season. So we're going to talk about ghosting. So the title is Who You Gonna Call? It's ghosting season. So I welcome you. Come in, say hello. I'll get to your comments or questions at some point, if not at the end. But like I said, this is a live podcast recording. So I just want you guys to kind of be, like I said, a fly on the wall. So give me about 15 seconds to make sure that it's going everywhere it needs to go. And we're going to get right into it.
This one for the streets that taught me lessons. Hey, they told me about the grief and people out here stressing. They told me how the evils wanna keep you from progressing. It's people in your circle wanna keep you from your blessings. No talking to them people when them people come with questions. This mama say no ratting. For them, death is destined. Be careful of the people you invest in.
All right, we are back and we are going to do the podcast recording in a minute here. Hope you guys are having a good week. It's Valentine's week, so it could mean a little bit of something or a little bit of nothing, depending on what your situation is. So, because I know people get a little neurotic around this time. So, we're going to talk about ghosting. I'm about to get into the podcast portion of this. I welcome you. Say hello. Let me know where you're chiming in from. And like I said, I'll repeat, I am going to address your questions or comments somewhere throughout or at the end because we are doing a live recording. So I'm going to pause at the beginning and I'm going to pause at the end just so that I can break it up at the end. So here we go. And welcome to another episode of the Relationship Gumbo Podcast. My name is Derek Jones and I'm your host. I'm a life coach, an engineer, a strategist, and a mental health advocate. And today's topic, we're in the week of Valentine's Day. So this topic is kind of one of those things that people go through and very seldom, figure it out. So the topic today is who you going to call? It's ghosting season, right? You can't call Ghostbusters. You're going to have to do something to get that heart and those emotions in check. And so I'm just going to go through a few, I would say maybe 5 topics of like what the reasons could be, the motive behind it, and then we gonna get out of here because we got this week, we got a double header. You're gonna get a second one tomorrow, so you get 2 for the price of 1. So let's get into this. So ghosting. So a lot of us, I'll say us, because I'm not gonna say women, because women have also been the offenders as well. It's not just men. But what happens when ghosting happens, it's when, just for those who don't know, it's when you think everything's going well. It could be 2 weeks, it could be 2 years, just depends. I've seen some long-term ghosts too. They disappear and you can't find them. And you don't know what happened because you thought everything was good. There were no signs. There were no red flags. At least you thought they weren't, right? And they disappear. And you just left there with your hands out like, I don't get it. I thought everything was good. And I can't even call the person to figure it out. So I'm stuck with these emotions that I've built up. And I don't have anywhere to put them now. And I got to figure it out. And I have to move on from this thing that I thought was good. And hopefully I'm not resentful or traumatized from it or have some issues I'm going to carry on to the next one, right? So ghosting, even though it's simplistic in nature, the person is disappearing, it's really one of those things that a lot of people take to heart because your emotions are involved, right? You're past the stage of saying, hi, how you doing? You've been on some dates, you probably talked on the phone, and then they just disappeared. Or they ended up being, they might even been in a relationship with you. And the next thing you know, it's like, what's going on? So I'm going to go down my top 5, right? And this is not the only thing because we don't want to be on here for 4 hours. But I'm going to give you a little tidbit. So the first one's really easy, right? It's the easiest one out of them all. They just a jerk. Number one, they a jerk, right? I can use some more colorful words. There's some people out here that's just jerks. They just out here. They don't care about your feelings. They don't give it. They just don't care. And they doing it for sport, right? And they're doing this with a whole lot of people. They don't care. They're moving with impunity. They don't care about your feelings. They want to get what they want out of it, whether it's sex, whether it's emotions, whether it's affection, time, whatever it is. And once they get their fill, it's time to go, right? And like I said, if you're the recipient of this, it hurts because it had all the signs of Prince Charming. It looked good. There was no flags. They just disappeared. You didn't know what the motive was. So, of course, you like, I don't know. That's the easy one, right? Because there's a lot of jerks out here. There's people with some problems, and they just doing it to just do it, right? So let's get a little deeper. Number two, we're going to call number two, I don't know you anything. There's some people out here that will date you, and they will feel like maybe they might have given you a little and you've given them a lot. And they feel like maybe it's getting too close. It's getting a little too warm. It's a little bit too much for me. I don't owe you an explanation because I haven't even known you that long. You just going to have to get over it because I can't deal. Right? And I know a lot of you are like, well, why don't they just say what they mean and just grow up? That's like a kid thing to do. We're going to break that down on the next couple, right? I'm not going to go too far in it, but there are reasons why someone would choose to walk away like that and not sit down and have the whole, please explain to me what happened conversation. It sounds easy, right? Just tell me what happened. Tell me what was wrong. What did I do? You want to know those answers, right? And once again, it hurts, right? Because this one isn't the jerk. It didn't feel like it, right? Then now you got somebody that says, I don't owe you anything. It's too much. I don't even want to have that discussion. It's not like, we've been together for a year. I don't owe you an explanation. For what? You're going to have to get over it, right? And actually, number two could probably be a jerk too, right? So that segues into number three, which is closure. I want closure by any means necessary. I need to find this person. Where can I know I can't call them, but I got to figure out, where do they work? I got to figure out what happened. What did I do? I need closure. And so you have to understand now we're going to get into the psyche of the ghost, right? The ghoster is thinking like this in a closure situation. Now catch this, guys. This is how the mind works, because a lot of us are like, why don't they just say that they're not interested? Well, the person who needs closure, the ghost looks at that as a potential conflict. And we know a lot of people don't like conflict. We run away from it because we have to assume that your closure is not going to be 1 minute long. You're going to want to know why. And I might not be in a position to really care that much to give you the why. That conversation might even be longer than we've been together. Right? So they run from it. Because who wants to have a conversation about how messed up I am for leaving? It sounds easy, but it's not easy when there's a person that doesn't want to deal with that confrontation. And so being afraid and don't want conflict is kind of like another number. Like a lot of us, we want the simple answer, but that conflict might be more tumultuous than you could probably ever imagine, and you just don't even want to deal with it. So I'm just going to leave. I'm going to disappear, and they'll just eventually get over it, and I don't have to go through the mud to get to where I'm trying to go to. And sometimes when we date and when we start to feel things for people, we don't pay attention, right? And I've talked about this in other podcasts. We don't pay attention to being compatible. We just want to feel a way. And when we feel a way and we start finding those things that we don't like, it's hard sometimes for us to tell the person, hey, you're a great person, but I don't like you here anymore. And so what you do is you play in your mind, what will happen if I tell this person that they just ain't it and they in love or they really infatuated with me? Felt good, but now it's like, wait. And because we don't communicate well, whether you happy or not, we don't communicate well. The easier route in that person's mind might be, yeah, they're going to be hurt when I leave, but at least I don't have to go through the tumultuous conversation. And then in my mind, I'm thinking this person might be hurt hearing that they aren't the one. That person might feel a way. They may react a certain way. I don't even want to know what that is. So I'm going to leave. And when you leave, you might not feel the best in this particular character. You might feel bad about it. But running from that conflict feels even better because you don't even want to go through that. So, do I condone it? No. But it happens, right? We talk about Valentine's Day, right? Might not be this week. Might have been last month. Got to get out of there. Because Valentine's Day is all about the feels. We got to feel. We got to love. We got to take somebody out. We got to do all that. It's a lot of ghosts in January, in early February. And guess what other season? It's ghosting season, but guess what? Now the spring is coming. Cuffing season's leaving. Spring is coming. It's time to get ghosts. But I don't want the conflict, so I got to disappear. And the other reason why I would say this would be number 4, a ghoster would not want to repeat past history. And I'm explaining what I mean by that. Let's say I dated 10 different women. And 9 of those 10 gave me hell for telling them that I didn't like it there. Human behavior says, I didn't like the way that feels. So you know what I'm going to do? If it ever happens again, I'm not going through that moment. And if my if my statistics say 9 out of 10 are going to treat me like that, when I meet number 11, I might make some assumptions. Like I said, don't condone it, but it happens. And so what happens is, because you don't want to experience that again, because you didn't gave the closure, and it was hard 9 times. When number 11 comes along, and it still don't feel right? And now let's do an aside. The caveat is, who are you picking that you got 11 in a row that you had to walk away from that fast, right? That's a whole nother show. When your picker is off, that you got to keep leaving and ghosting people. So when you get to number 11, the psychology behind it is, I'm going off of statistics. I'm not going off of you, the person, because that person sounds like this. I didn't do nothing to them. Why would they think that I would be the person to ramp up on closure? Why would they think that of me? It's not about you, the individual. It's about the statistics and the potential that you might ramp up. So because there's a high potential based on my track record, I would rather ghost you than to find out which one you are. Catch it. Statistics. And I'm going to jump out there and say this. And you women can agree. A lot of men, when we make decisions about how we treat you, how we touch you, is based on our statistics. If 9 women like their hand rubbed, I'm going to try to rub your hand. I'm not going to treat you like an individual. I have to assume that you might like it too, because my statistics say that it works. So in this case, my statistics say you might turn up and go crazy if I tell you I gotta leave. So I might as well just let you catch whatever it is later, and I'm out. And I know when I leave, the next week, the next 2 weeks, the next month, you probably gonna be at home crying and trying to figure it out. And it may even hurt me a little bit. But it won't hurt as bad as being cursed out and having to go through the closure that I think might happen based on my statistics. Right? So, do I normalize this behavior? Once again, do I condone it? No. But I am humanizing it. A lot of this behavior happens with a lot of people because their reactions a lot of times are, I don't like conflict. So I'm not going to give you the closure in a pretty bow because I know that there's conflict, because the conflict probably happens a lot because there were no signs that there were problems. Most ghosters leave abruptly. So of course the person that's being ghosted is going to say, what the hell happened and what the hell is wrong with you? Like, why didn't you tell me that you didn't like my nose 2 weeks ago? Right? You still kept coming back. What's the problem? People don't want to go through that. So they just roll. And so we're going to wrap this up in a pretty bow, right? Because I'm not going to keep you here long. Because guess what? We got a whole nother show tomorrow. I'm going to tell you about that in a few minutes. So just to recap, a lot of the ghosting behavior outside of the person that's just a natural born jerk, it's because of the conflict, the perceived conflict. Because everybody out here is, not everybody, but most people would say, well, all they had to do was just sit me down and just say whatever it was and everything would be fine. How many people have tried to do that and it went left? People are afraid of it going left. They're afraid of that. The potential for you to go left when tomorrow I'm out is very high. So ghosting becomes an option. And hope they don't have your address and your work number. So, it happens. And so now we're going to talk about what you need to do. It's 3 words that I'm going to say. I'm probably going to say on every show. You ready for them? Love you more. Love you more than the ghosting. Love you more than your need for closure. And you're going to have a period where you got to get yourself together. Love you more. Because even though you put your emotions into something and you want a return on your investment, right? We all do. We want a return on our investment in time and emotions. We also want to win the Powerball. There's a chance you might win, and there's a chance you might lose. And the only way for you to be okay faster, because you're not going to be okay, but you be okay faster if you love you more. If you go into a situation loving you more before you even meet them, guess what? You're going to be all right. Now, if you enter in a situation with trauma and you get ghosted, ouch. It's a little bit more work you're going to have to do. Think about that. Because relationships, especially now, we can talk about soulmates and divine intervention and all of these things that make this person the perfect match. But in reality, we got to live with each other. We got to be around each other every day. It's not even about love all the time. And it might not work. And you got to love you more so that you can be equipped to get over it and not carry it to the next relationship or the next dating scenario. Because another phrase that I'm always going to say, that ain't fair. It's not fair to the next person. Think about it. You got ghosted, you got pissed off, and then you go into the next situation and you take it out on them. That ain't fair. So we're not going to do that. We're going to be okay. We're going to love us more. And we're going to find our happy place. And we're going to keep that happy place before we go to the next one. So on that note, we're going to wrap this up. The next show. Y'all want to know what the title is? Don't put your love and your emotions on the clearance rack. Y'all better come back tomorrow and get and get on here live. So I'm going to wrap this up. I'm glad you guys were able to stay and listen. And I appreciate you. And I want to, you can find me on, I'm going to put the flyer up for the podcast in a second. But we're going to wrap up the audio version of this. And I want you guys to have a great rest of your week. Once again, I'm glad you made it. I absolutely appreciate you. Please find me on literally all podcasting platforms. And we will see you on the next episode of Relationship Gumbo. Have a great day. All right, we done, guys. I am back. So anybody that's live, you may or may not still be here. Alexa, Michelle Ford, Robert, Matthew Horn was here earlier. Glad to see you. So we done. So tomorrow I'm going to be live, and I'm also going to be doing the card logic demonstration. And for those of you who are not aware of that, I have a visual way that I coach as well. So you'll be able to see that. And I use playing cards to kind of give you a visual of how your mind works. And so I'm just here to provide a different perspective. I want you guys to feel it. I want you guys to enjoy it. And I want you guys to keep coming back. So I'm going to put up the information for the podcast. So you can literally find me anywhere. The only thing that's not up there is SoundCloud. I'm on SoundCloud now. This particular audio version will be up probably in a couple hours. So you can play it all over again in your car or in your Bluetooth, headphones, all of that good stuff. Let me put myself back. And www.mrcardlogic.net is where you can find everything else. I do one-on-one dating, coaching, communication coaching for couples and relationships. And, I just help you get it right. What I am, the engineer in me, the strategist in me, I like to kind of hack your emotions and hack your mind. So when you do a one-on-one session with me, it's not a generic session. It's going to be customized to you in your particular situation so that you can get right and make better decisions. Alexa says, what time are my live shows? So I do 2 a week. One of them is scheduled. The other one can pop up at any time. And that's what this one is. But you can always find me at on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I go live simultaneously on Periscope, YouTube, and Facebook. So you can go to the website if you wanted to find, you're on Periscope right now. If you wanted to find me on Facebook, go to www.mrcardlogic.net and you can go find me and link to me on those other platforms. So that's scheduled. The reason why I do the other one not scheduled is because this one is supposed to be the one that I record without you guys viewing. So I do this just so that when I make the time to do it on my schedule, you guys get to be a fly on the wall. Tomorrow is going to be more engaging. This one is just kind of me recording and you guys kind of seeing the process that I go through. So you're welcome, Alexa. I just try to, I try to give you guys, I don't want to sound like a professor and I want to make sure you guys relate to the topic. So I use, regular terms and I just get it in. And I want to help. That's the most important thing. I want to help. I want to help people that need more help than me. Like you want to go see an actual therapist, you can pass the baton to go there. If there's some little tweaks you can make in your life because of something I said, that's my gift to you, right? So just keep checking back. I do 2 of these a week. For you guys, it was only supposed to be 1 show a week, but I was like, wait, I go live on Wednesday anyway. I might as well take the audio from that and make 2. So you're getting a bonus. So like I said before, I appreciate you guys. Please share and invite your friends and family. Let them know where I'm at, because we got some exciting things coming up. Let me just give you a little window of what's coming up. And y'all know I'm a one-man army. So I have apparel on the site. I have t-shirts like this. But I'm going to kind of shuffle those probably within the next week. And I'm going to do some more relationship-based stuff that cater to the things that I do on the show. So like I said, I love me more. I'm going to have a t-shirt that says I love me more. So I'm going to start implementing those things on the apparel line, and the one-on-one coaching is always going to be there. And then I'm also going to probably in March, I'm going to do a boot camp for couples, people in long-term relationships, and singles. And the only topic is going to be communication. It's going to be a communication only boot camp that, it's not going to be free, because all of this stuff I got up in here is taking some decades. It's not going to be expensive, but I can't just do it for free. All of this is the free right here. So I want to do a boot camp, because whether you or someone realize it or not, there's a lot of tools that we don't have. And there's a lot of tumultuous things we go through in relationships that can be avoided with the proper tools on how to communicate and respect each other, right? And so I just want to lay all of those things out. We're gonna get it in. We're gonna have fun. It's gonna be some work. I'm trying to get some things that you guys can, go to the site and print out, so that you can, do things like write down the things that you appreciate, write down the things you don't like, and you're gonna have to make a pact with your partner that you're not going to get in your feelings, because it's all about working towards a goal. So I want to do that. And, the podcast still going to be popping. Y'all going to see me on different shows and radio shows and stuff like that. And I just want you guys to come along for the ride. So I'm going to get off of here, and I want you guys to have an amazing rest of your week. Well, amazing rest of your life. How about that? And just have fun. Enjoy life. Peace of mind is your most important thing. That's where everything else flows from. Your family, your friends, your job, you. Peace of mind and clarity will help you make better decisions all the time. And if you can't figure out how, holla at your boy. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a great night.
This one for the streets that taught me lessons. They taught me about the grief and people out here stressing. They taught me how the evils wanna keep you from progressing. It's people in your circle wanna keep you from your blessings. No talking to them people when them people come with questions. This mama say no ratting. For them, death is destined. Be careful of the people you invest in.